3 years after being cast out of the Hawk family, Eleanor Hawk walked into my shop for a pair of custom shoes. As it happened, I was the one assigned to her. I knelt reflexively, ready to help her with her shoes, but she stopped me, her hand on my arm. "Julian," she said, her voice laced with surprise. "What are you doing working a job like this?" It seemed she never imagined that her once pampered heir would now be serving others with such practiced humility. I used her grip to help myself up, and in the same smooth motion, talked her into putting $200,000 on a store card. She did it without hesitation. As she was leaving, she asked, a little too carefully, "Julian, do you still hate me?" I gave her a perfect professional smile and saw her out the door. The moment she was gone, I asked my manager for a transfer to another branch. I didn't hate her anymore, but I never wanted anything to do with the Hawk family again. It was pouring rain when I got off work. Eleanor's Maybach was parked by the curb, its hazard lights blinking. She rolled down the window and called out to me, "Julian, let me give you a ride home." I glanced at the rideshare app on my phone. The wait was endless. I wisely accepted her offer. Life has taught me one crucial lesson: never pass up an opportunity for comfort. Otherwise, your entire existence becomes a trial. The driver was still Arthur. He grinned when he saw me. "Young Master Julian, you look different, more grounded," he continued. "A bit like your father." "Arthur, just drive," Eleanor said sharply from the back. Me father's death was a wound that never healed for any of us. The slightest mention was enough to make it ache. A soft classical piece began to play through the car's speakers. Eleanor had looked like she wanted to say something, but the mention of my father had silenced her. She leaned back against the leather, her expression weary and dark. I took a pause in the music to speak. "Arthur, you can just call me Julian. I haven't been the young master of the Hawk family for a long time." Arthur just kept smiling, unfazed by Eleanor's mood. "It is just a title, son, a habit of many years." Hearing Arthur's warm, steady voice, I couldn't help but smile. When I was 14, at the peak of my rebellious phase, Eleanor brought home a boy she was sponsoring. His name was originally Caleb, but after learning he was an orphan, Eleanor had him take our name. She thought his given name was common, so she renamed him Caleb Hawk. I was Julian Hawk. He was Caleb Hawk. But everyone always said how polite and thoughtful Caleb was, how it was no wonder Eleanor doted on him. As for me, I was arrogant and spoiled, not nearly as composed as the boy from the mountains. A rebellious teenager has his pride. I wouldn't let him outshine me. I berated every gossiping servant in the house until I was exhausted. I sat down to catch my breath, only to see Eleanor standing around the corner, her eyes filled with disgust. And next to her stood Caleb, dressed in the latest designer clothes, looking smug. I knew it was his doing. Ever since he arrived, everything I did was twisted to make me look like a bully. I had been friendly to him at first, but he would always act hesitant and wounded. Within days, rumors were flying that the Hawk heir looked down on commoners. I swore to Eleanor, argued, collapsed into her arms in a desperate hug, and pleaded, "Mom, why don't you believe me?" She just sighed. "Julian, when will you ever grow up?" She always thought I was a lost cause. She seemed to forget that she once promised, "No matter what Julian does, Mommy will always have your back." I wanted to rip the mask off Caleb's face and show her the ugliness underneath, but what I said was, "What gives you the right to wear something like that?" The clothes were from a new collection. He couldn't have worn them without her permission. Her favoritism had been there all along. I was just too stupid to see it, too desperate to win a game that was already lost. The day after that, Caleb's name was legally changed. He became the sole heir of the Hawk family, and I became a complete joke. Only two people ever stood by my side, my father and Arthur. Me father was always busy with work and carried a deep guilt towards my mother. Even when he knew I was being wronged, his only solution was to give me more money. This only made Eleanor despise me more, believing I was a greedy manipulator. Arthur was originally my father's